Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion, the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. How you doing? Happy New Year. I hope that you have recovered from all the excitement of the holidays. Moving forward, Happy New Year 2022. I did join you on the 2nd for the live video, which I'll do that again sometime. I promise. It was very spontaneous and I just thought I'd give it a shot. Let's see. Well, I have a list because I couldn't remember everything that I need to talk about. So let's take a look at what's coming up. I have a lot of concerns about January 6th. Not that I'm worried. It's just that I know, I sense and feel the anger of 45. I'm going to call him 45 tonight. And we're going to take a look at that. Anyway, few testimonials. I think it was my last PNN video. Didn't I say Ivanka and Don Jr. were in big trouble? Well, lo and behold, Ivanka and Don Jr. are in big trouble. We found that out today. I didn't know if it was going to be about January 6th or the New York, the tax evasion thing. But I did feel like they were in a substantial amount of trouble. The other thing that I did call was maybe 4 weeks ago, I was looking at Corey and I on Bridge Cape Ann were looking at, he was asking about the holiday travel situation, and I said I saw chaos in the skies, and I literally heard some newscaster say, it's chaos in the skies. So there you go. And the other thing that I want to just mention that I had said was that, and this is a couple months ago, everyone's asking about voting rights. Of course, it's a very important topic. And I saw the filibuster being carved out of the works for the voting rights. So lo and behold, Chuck Schumer is working on it, pushing some kind of a law through that would eliminate the filibuster for voting rights at least, and to get the power out of the hands of Mitch McConnell. This is ridiculous. He's a minority leader. It's just really time for America and Congress and, to really just take things seriously. Because it's serious. What we're going through right now is serious, and it's seriously, honestly traumatizing that the orange Cheeto is not behind bars. And, after January 6th happened last year, I think that I'm not alone in just knowing that he deserved to be arrested on the spot. So Cheney comes out today. Of course, the January 6th commission, another thing I said was they were working straight through the Christmas holiday. They have not stopped working. We kind of knew they wouldn't. I just could really feel how much diligence was going into the investigation. So when, they've interviewed a lot of people, they're getting the full scoop. By the way, speaking of getting the full scoop, Michael Cohen is behind Ivanka and Don Jr. getting in trouble because he's basically just spilling the beans on everything that happened with the tax evasion. So back to Cheney. They've had a lot of people report to them. The January 6th Commission has had a lot of people report to them, staff members and such, what Donald Trump was doing during the insurrection. And we saw it. I'm sure you remember seeing it. He was enjoying it. But they have it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Horses, more than one horse. About what he actually was doing that horrifying day. I know that people are upset about all these reports, these polls that Republicans support having violence against our government and blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to those polls. you know, I want to know if anybody here has ever been called up on the phone and asked like what they would support, because my whole entire life you're always hearing about these polls, but nobody's ever calling me. I'm a registered voter, obviously, so don't pay too much attention when they start talking about, well, he's going to run for president again. Don't pay attention. Just really focus on what's good. Focus on the fact that we are still in a democracy, for one thing. What's happened in this country, I'm going to try not to pontificate too much. When January 6th happened, when I was kind of analyzing what's going on with the human species in America, part of what I just really know is we do not initiate people into adulthood in this country. We are very narcissistic. A lot of people in this country are very immature, very uninformed, very naive, very gullible, and easily led to slaughter. I don't mean that literally, you know, it's just a saying. Easily led, not knowing they're being led to something that's not a good idea and is not going to work for them. As far as the insurrectionists, you know, they've made, I think they've heard from 700 of them. I don't know if that I have that number right. Many of them are behind bars or awaiting, you know, being behind bars. And so, and also, I just want to say about the insurrectionists, I really get strongly that the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and, you know, that whole uninitiated into manhood group are angry at Trump. I feel like that they, you know, they got a bad deal. They didn't, first of all, they expected the coup to work, and it should have if the angels weren't on our side. Thank God. First of all, they thought it was going to work. Second of all, they never, think about the debate when he's, you know, 45 said, stand back and stand by. You know, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and that whole lot, they thought that he had their back. He basically was posing as if he, you know, don't worry, he's a big man. He's a big man in the White House. He's a big dictator in the White House. And he could do whatever he wanted. And he was going to make sure that if they were his foot soldiers, that he was going to make sure that they were all going to win and they were going to be great and they would be rewarded and all this stuff, right? Well, con job. I'm telling you, it's from a family where it runs in the DNA of a carnival barker con artist that knows how to play the legal system like a fine fiddle, like a fine fiddle player. So they're not happy with him. Those that are ending up in jail and about to be in jail, the heads, especially of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and all that, they are not happy. And there was some time ago, I actually saw, I don't think I mentioned it in a reading, in a video, but I did see, this is several months ago, early in last year. I actually felt the stirrings of those groups, those insurrectionist groups, you know, the domestic terrorist cell groups, plotting about revenge. That's my sense, was that some feeling of plotting revenge against 45 for not, I don't know what the plot was, but just picked up on talk of, you know, he did us wrong, you know, he double-crossed us. So currently, when we look at the January 6th press conference, which I don't even know why he's calling it a press conference, and Lord knows why he's being allowed to have an event on January 6th, making a mockery of the day, making a mockery of the truth, continuing to attempt to gaslight his still followers. You know, I don't really understand why he's doing that, but I don't feel like he's going to get the amount of support that he's fantasizing about. Because he's lost credibility with he's lost credibility with the insurrectionists, because they didn't, thank God, once again, succeed in overthrowing our entire country, really. And when the cult leader falls, the thing falls apart. And it's taken a little while, but this is true of cults. When the cult leader, you know, kind of starts to crumble, then the followers just fall away. That's factual. If you know about cults, if you read about cults, that's factual. I don't know how long this is going to be tonight, but we'll see. I'm probably not going to limit the time because I do want to talk about all that's going on, and I'm kind of a day late because I usually do a PNN every other day. I hope you had a good New Year's. Oh, and on that note, thank you to all of you who were with me 3 hours on New Year's Eve. That was a really special event. If you get an opportunity to watch it, it's 8 minutes of reading from spiritual books that were very influential in my life and continue to be. A variety of just a portion of the books that I have, just kind of randomly reading things, and 8 minutes of, you know, just quiet to be still. It was really good. I might do it again. The guides completely, you know, orchestrated that. I just got this feeling that I needed to do it. So thanks for watching, and thanks for watching Church of Spirituality too. Did it live for the first time yesterday, and it was really exciting. So hopefully that's going to be live every single Sunday. And on that note, please don't get hung up on the word church. I'm attempting to reinvent the word. I know. I take on lofty goals. It's very lofty goals. I'm a Sagittarius. We're always pointing at the target that's way, way, way up there, right? Okay, so Liz Cheney, what she's revealing to the press about, you know, I'll just call him Trump. Trump just, you know, doing nothing for more than 90 minutes. More than 90 minutes when, you know, police officers, Capitol police officers were being bludgeoned, and it's hard to think about. And I cannot watch the videos, and I learn, if the video comes up on the screen and I happen to be watching the news and it's on one half of the screen, I'm like this. I'm covering it up. I have never, in my entire life, I have never perceived, this is God's honest truth, such evil in a video. And plus it went on and on and on and on and on. It was like a huge band of demons storming our sacred house, Capitol. So just amazing. And for some reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene just popped into my mind. She was banned from Twitter for saying misinformation about COVID. We'll get to all the misinformation about COVID and where that's all headed. Why did she pop into my head? Well, she popped into my head, I think, because I'm talking about January 6th, and she was complicit in January 6th. I feel like she was talking to Trump on January 6th. Just like the Jim Jordans, and you know, we know what happened. It's what we're going to do about it that's kind of pending, right? But they are collecting a lot of information. Merrick Garland is going to issue some kind of a statement this week, so let's keep an eye on that. I don't feel like he's let up. I feel like that's been like full steam ahead. When we did our show with Linda G, Corey and I, which aired last night again, by the way. Go to Bridge Cape Ann if you want to see that one. I said that after Merrick Garland gets done with this January 6th commission, I really just think he's going to be like, okay, I'm done. Time to retire. And you know, Liz Cheney, I feel like this is a little bit different, but with Liz Cheney, this is like, we come to Earth with certain purposes, and this is something that her soul came here to do. I've mentioned that before, and I feel that really, really strongly. I mean, even though she's a Republican, she's leading the way on this, you know, how to make sure that this doesn't ever happen again. And let's look at one thing. Let's look at whether 45 will be prosecuted. Why not? Let's just look at that. Copper pendulum. Oh, we'll just use this one. You know me, I'm always losing them. And I just got a little container to put them in too. But anyway, I digress. Okay. Is Donald Trump Sr. going to be held accountable? And by that I mean behind bars. See, things are shifting around. Because, you know, we psychics, we see the trajectory of things. And I'm getting a yes. So something has changed. Something has shifted. Is it around the, is it for about January 6th? Wow. Oh, that's fascinating. I just bought a bell, so I like to ring it. I heard it clears the energy. So, all right. Well, here we go. Let's look at what's going to happen now that Ivanka and Don Jr. have to speak up about what about this tax evasion situation in New York. They always get him on the money crimes. Those are real easy to prove. Real easy to prove. Oh yeah, bank, this property's worth so much money that we can use this as collateral. Look at this property's worth so much money. And then, oh, IRS, oh no, that piece of property, it's a shack. It's only worth pennies. So we're asking about Don Jr. and Ivanka and what's going to happen with this issue with Letitia James in New York City. And I have the death card. Doesn't mean they're going to die. It means it's over for them. Their freedom, the guys are saying their freedom it's gone. It's done. They are no longer free. Michael Cohen coming up with the goods about the money. The Knight of Pentacles with the pentacle meaning the money. And the Page of Wands. This looks like some kind of an attempt at a plea deal. I'm not sure what that would be about. But then again, I wasn't sure about why Don and Ivanka would be called to task. I'm not sure when Letitia James is going to kind of have her way with them. I haven't checked the schedule. They might not know yet, but it's soon. It is soon. This is going to be a very full month. But I want to say again, to look at what's good, because there's really two ways you can look at what's going on right now. I repeatedly, and I say this all the time, I repeatedly think about where we could have been. But we just really have to keep working hard on our democracy and saving our voting rights and strengthening our democracy. Remember when 9/11 happened? What the 9/11 Commission was really after was how to make sure that this never happens again, that 9/11 never happens again. We were going around really naive, thinking, oh, seriously, before 9/11, we really were going around thinking, oh, the rest of the world loves America. Seriously. We really were. Before 9/11, we were going around thinking, oh, everyone loves America. And then we found out differently. Then we found out how vulnerable we are. Then we found out that we had enemies. I mean, we knew that, but we didn't really think about it. We just thought everybody loved America. So, what the January 6th Commission is, you know, its function, what it's there for, is to make sure that we do not lose our democracy, that we patch up the holes. And there are many, 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 many holes. It's going to take a lot of seamstresses to patch up these holes. What else do we want to look at about January 6th? There's so much. Let's ask the pendulum, how many Republicans are going to jail because of January 6th? And I mean seated Republicans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it looks like there are 8 Republicans that are going to be behind bars. That doesn't mean there's only 8. for the time being, I see 8. I actually do see, too, more evidence. I know they're saying that it's going to be summertime before we see the whole thing laid out in a timeline for the public. But up until that happens, like the big movie maybe, it's going to be a documentary or something. Prior to that, we're going to see the public hearings. Are we going to see Trump in a public hearing or with the January 6th commission? Excuse me. I know the pendulum is orange, but it's saying yes. We're going to see him in a public hearing. I know I'm being a little skeptical here. It's like, are you just telling us what we want to hear tonight? I don't know. I don't think so. Pendulum is usually right. Nothing's 100%, but the pendulum is usually right. Let's see. I think Michael Cohen cannot wait. Really, I do get that. Michael Cohen cannot wait. We have to visualize. I do want to say something else about something that I predicted the other night, and then I kept seeing it. We were pulling a card about the collective, and this is a year of coming together as communities. Community. And that involves, too, our voting, keeping our voting rights, fighting hard for our voting rights within our communities. That's, I did hear that actually confirmed by an astrologer. It might have been Pam Gregory. It was Pam Gregory. And I don't remember what configuration it was astrologically, but something about Aquarius, Jupiter and Pisces too, which is the case for a little bit. I was born with Jupiter and Pisces. So it's really important for us to get our spiritual, a foothold spiritually. Really, really important. So as far as community, we have to grow our communities up. We have to grow our country up. And just, using the 9/11 comparison, that really was, as I think about it, that was a time that we had to grow up and get serious. Because we were all going around like little kids, like, we're fine. No, we had to grow up from that, and I remember a while back, just looking at, the legacy of John F. Kennedy and how he, played a pivotal role in, getting civil rights, voting rights passed and all that. We had to grow up. And so there's a segment of the population that's not grown up. And if you see Joy Reid tonight, she had a very good piece at the beginning of her show about that. And I thought it was interesting that one of her commentators was actually made reference to that we lost our spirituality because people used to go to church and had a sense of love one another and take care of your brother and sister, and that is not the case anymore. And we don't want to just lose our democracy because people aren't acting like grown-ups. So there's a lot of Capricornian energy right now going on, and you might have felt it. I felt it right when the sun went into Capricorn, like around the solstice. It's not like, it doesn't have to be a sad time. It's not sad. It's kind of somber. And this week, especially somber, just really reflective and really, almost like prayerful. It's a really important week. It's a week for us to be paying attention. It's always time for us to be paying attention. But this is like, in our lifetimes, we've seen our democracy completely at risk and almost overtaken by somebody who has all the textbook signs of being a fascist, and people that don't know any better, the naivety, attacking our democracy in that way as if they know what fascism is. Time to grow ourselves up. It's time to grow ourselves up, and in our communities to talk to one another and to talk about how we can make our country stronger and how we can help one another too, especially since there's been so many natural disasters and COVID's taken out, believe it or not, a lot of Trump supporters. And we will get to Ron DeSantis. it's a time that people will have to, some people will have to start thinking more because of the catastrophes that are happening. And I mean, like, case in point, a lot of people in red states are dying because they don't believe the science. That'll grow people up. Unfortunately, it's tragically sad. And the side effect is it makes people kind of go, whoa, better be a grown-up and pay attention. Anyway, I'm picking 3 cards about that, about our democracy. Well, this is representative of January 6th. I was just talking to somebody about Shiva and Hinduism, Kali, and I think Kali is like a Hawaiian religion. I don't know. Anyway, in religions across the board, we have always had a god or goddess of destruction, and the reason for it is to rebuild anew. Phoenix rising from the ashes concept all over this. So this is this week. Everything's being shaken up. We've got to pay attention. We've got to pay attention. The 2 of Swords, this is a standoff. This is a standoff in terms of like what Trump is doing at Mar-a-Lago. This is like, I feel like January 6th for him, I said it before, is going to be extremely incriminating. Trump is going into January 6th at Mar-a-Lago like nobody can touch him. A little delusional. And the 7 of Pentacles is just indicative of a lot of work that we have to do. I feel really heightened security in Mar-a-Lago. Big time. And I actually feel the residents of Mar-a-Lago being livid. Because we do know that contractually, he's not even supposed to be living there. I'm telling you, it's the communities of people that are going to be rising up that are going to make a difference this year. This is a year of the communities. Truly. For our next topic, we're going to look at... We're all like going, like the Where's Waldo thing. Where's Ron? Where is Ron? Because apparently he wasn't seen between December 17th, and then he just reemerged like a mole out of his hole. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. It's just so preposterous. Ron DeSantis. Okay, what's not anything to make fun of is the fact that he pressured his wife, who had just been through chemo, to go to a super spreader event without a mask. That's what I heard. I don't know, maybe she wore a mask. I think we would have heard it if she wore a mask. I heard that, of course, he wasn't masked. They're going for herd immunity in Florida. I had said a couple of readings ago that this was when Omicron first started to occur, that Florida was going to get hit. Really, I was so worried about Florida, and lo and behold, I have the stats here. There's 42,600 new cases of COVID per day in Florida, and true to form, I said, you're not going to believe how much COVID there is in Florida with Omicron. It's up 2,000%. And Ron DeSantis is out there, and I am not lying, this is true. His Surgeon General is saying, oh, people are just getting too upset about this. People need to just stop being so upset about this. This is, what do you call it? A psychological rewinding of blah, blah, blah. Criminal. People are dying, and they're letting them, and they're encouraging it. And then DeSantis is DeSatan is so aptly coined, blaming Joe Biden for saying, oh, the federal government should stop testing people, should stop telling people to be tested. We just don't want to talk about it. What's going to happen to Mr. DeSantis? Shall we look? Oh, so he reemerged for that. All the psychics thought that he was sick. Let's take a look at this again. Because he vanished. He disappeared. And honestly, he wouldn't say if he got a booster shot when he was asked on Fox News. He completely avoided giving an answer. Has he had a booster shot? Yep. Has Ron DeSantis' wife had all her shots? No. Is he trying to kill his wife? Entertainment purposes only. What the hell? The pendulum is going in circles. That's a terrible question for me to be asking, but what that's saying is he's ambivalent about it. He's really evil. He's a sociopath, and I think she's afraid of him. And stress doesn't help. Stress doesn't help your physiology. What's going to happen with him? With DeSatan. It's kind of funny we all call him that, but it's aptly named Justice. Is it Merrick Garland coming after DeSantis? Is it Merrick Garland coming after DeSantis? Yeah. The legal system is coming down on him, and he's going to feel the burden. And I feel like this is the federal government saying no more. That's interesting. He's really feeling burdened. DeSantis is really feeling the burden. The news people are saying that they think that he disappeared because of the cases going up and he didn't know what to do about it. Okay, let's ask the pendulum. I think he was sick. And 2-3 weeks would be enough for him to get over it because he's got all the, fancy schmancy treatments. Was he sick? He was sick. Was he sick with COVID? Oh, that's a strong yes. So I'm standing by what the other psychics have said, that he was sick. This is just for entertainment, right? Just my psychic facts. Does anyone else call it that? I made that up. Let's see. What's up? Okay, I have a couple other things and then I'll let you go. I'll be back in a couple of days. Texas is having some cold temps. Has Governor Abbott done anything about the power grid in Texas? No, absolutely nothing. Okay. Has anybody noticed something? These evil Republicans don't care if people die. In fact, they're behaving in such ways as to make it glaringly obvious that they don't care if people die. Am I just stating the obvious? But I think that people can't wrap their minds around it. Just like, it's kind of like this. The charmer sociopath that could kill somebody. Yikes. It's that bad. It's that bad. I'm looking at Texas winter. Texas is going to have, this is the 9 of Swords. Texas is going to suffer. Community. It's really important that the communities help each other. And this is actually going to make, I see 2 leaders in Texas. They might not even be in office, like Beto O'Rourke, for instance. I see 2 leaders in Texas, a male and a female, that are going to lead the way, even though they're not in office, to help Texas out of the freeze that is coming. It makes my blood boil. A couple more things. It's going to be a big week. It's going to be a really big news week. Stabilize your energy. Sit and be quiet. My guides told me a long time ago that when people are really practicing stillness, it calms down the collective. Do it for your fellow humans. Calm yourself down a few times a day if you can. Meditate. Be still. It calms down the collective. And on that note, I am going to post just maybe a 5-minute video of just prayers and intentions for America, particularly this week. Look for that starting tomorrow. It's just going to be 5 minutes. Pre-recorded. You can turn it on anytime. Like I did that when in Wisconsin, the SUV plowed into the parade. How much more trauma can we take? You know, I do feel like 2022 is not going to be worse. Such a consolation. It's not going to be worse than 2021. I mean, because when I say how much trauma can we take, we've had to bear a lot, and I think that we all wonder, like, what's next? Is it just going to get worse and worse and worse? I don't feel it getting worse and worse and worse. I feel like we're starting to learn how to ride the wave. Let's not get numbed out. So, now the topic. Remember, Russia's on the border over Ukraine? I'll tell you what I get on that, and I'll pull 3 cards, and then I'll let you go. I feel like Vlad, our buddy Vlad, is in a tight spot. I feel like he's being really pressured by some oligarchs, and I feel like Vlad has some people in Russia that are very angry at him, and I mean like the billionaire types. It feels like this. Boy, it's a fine mess you got us into there, buddy Vlad. I don't know the Russian translation, but it would be funny. I feel like the pressure is on Vladimir Putin big time from some powerful men in office. And let's just ask if is he going to withdraw his troops. I mean, I'm not talking about Biden. I'm talking about Europe. I'm talking about people in Russia. The guys just said a Middle East connection too. Not China. The Middle East. Is he going to withdraw the troops? It does look like it. See, prayer works. Honestly, I'm telling you, I really do sense that people have been praying, and people praying is shifting things around. 3 more cards about that. Mr. Putin, what the heck is going on? Do you like my, I know it's behind me, but this is my little Happy New Year lantern. All my decorations are not down yet. I hate taking my lights down. I'll probably put some up here again. Leave some winter lights. Keeps things cheery. Yep. The Russian troops are suffering, and they're going to be able to go home. It's going to be more fruitful for him to withdraw the troops from Ukraine. I think Vladimir Putin is going to get overthrown. Is he going to get overthrown this year? Is Vlad going to be overthrown this year? I feel like Vlad's health is poor, and he's stressed out of his mind, and he's got himself caught between a rock and a hard place, and some of the, his associates are livid, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets ousted. That's all I have for you tonight. It was a lot, I know. I'll see you in a couple days unless something happens. I will post a video with 5 minutes of prayer for our country, particularly this week. Keep your focus on what is improving. Okay? Namaste. See you soon.